Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, hello everybody. This occasion we meet again, discussing about the topic of English lesson for 12th grade. The topic is about explanation text. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Well, explanation text is one type of genre or text type. This time I'm going to talk about this text based on these stages. First one later, I would like to talk about this from the definition and social functions of the text, and then later on with the generic structures of the text, language features of the text, examples of the text, and finally the differences between explanation and procedure text. Next, go to the next slide. Okay, here is the definition and purposes of explanation text. Explanation text is a text which tells processes relating to performing of natural, social, scientific, and cultural phenomena. Explanation text is to say why and how of the formings of the phenomena. It is often found in science, geography, and history textbooks. Go to the next slide. Now we talk about the generic structures of explanation text. How to write the explanation text? We have to go through these following stages. First one is the general statement. In this general statement, the writer is trying to state the phenomenon issues which are to be explained. And after the first generic structure, a general statement, we go to the next generic structures of the explanation text. Here is the sequence explanation. In this stage, the writer is going to try to state a series of steps which is explaining the phenomena. Okay, go to the next slide. The following I'm going to tell you to explain to you about the language features involved in the writings of explanation text. First, featuring generic participants such as sun, rain, etc. Second, using chronological connections to begin with, next, finally, eventually, etc. And the third language features, the text of explanation commonly uses passive voice pattern. And then the tense which is used in the writings of explanation text is simple present tense. Okay, the following is the slide about the examples of the text of explanation with the title Why Summer Daylight is Longer than Winter Daylight. The first generic structures of the text of explanation will be about general statement. Can read from this paragraph, the first paragraph, talking about the opening or the general statements about the case why summer daylight is longer than winter daylight. In the summer, the amounts of daylight that we get is more than we get in winter. This is not because as much people think we are closer to the sun, but because of the tilt of the earth. And then the sequence of explanation for the next generic structures of the text will be the earth is actually closer to the sun in winter than it is in summer. But you would be forgiven for thinking that This cannot be true after looking out of your window on a cold and frosty morning. And the next is going to be the paragraph about the conclusion. Yeah. It seems strange that as the Earth gets closer to the Sun during its orbit, then the amount of daylight that we get decreases. But that is the case. It is the tilt of the Earth that determines the amount of daylight that we get, and so the length of time that for us the Sun is above the horizon. The source of the reading text is taken from www.ictteachers.co.uk. Go to the next slide. The following is going to be about the differences between explanation text and procedure text. Yeah, seeing that the social function, both procedure and explanation text have the similarity in which both describe how to make or done something. They give the detailed description on something, phenomena, goods, product, case, or problem. To see the differences between explanation and procedure text, we have to analyze the dominant language feature and how the texts are used. Procedure. This text type is commonly called an instruction text. It uses patterns of command in building the structures. It uses the to infinitive verb, which is omitted the to. It is a kind of instruction text which uses full command verb. Procedure is commonly used to describe how to make something which is close to our daily activity. For example, how to make a cup of tea, how to make a good kite, etc. is the best examples of the procedure text. It is such word first boil water, secondly prepare the cup, and so on. Meanwhile, the explanation text it is commonly used the passive voice in building the text. Explanation is such a scientific written material. It describes how certain phenomenon or event happens, how a tornado forms, how tsunami works, are the best examples of explanation text. It uses passive pattern in describing the topics. So that is about the differences between explanation and procedure text, which is mostly similar, but the differences are already told to you just now. Then you can read again. See the writing about the differences between procedures and explanation text. Well, I guess that all the presentations about the explanation from me. I hope you can understand and enjoy the presentations. I will see you again in other opportunities. Thank you so much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.